Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Lindsey Mackail, professional dancer and choreographer. Welcome back to my channel. I literally, the other day, watched a video of Black Swan, and it was the music video for BTS. And today I was so in love with the choreography and so in love with the video that I am actually now watching the choreography, or the dance practice, I should say, to Black Swan. I loved the choreography so much that I had to look up who the choreographer was, Sergio Rice. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, but he is a Brazilian choreographer, and he's out of Brazil. Freaking amazing. You killed it with this routine. You killed it with the choreography. I love reading about how you wanted to kind of challenge them and push them, to kind of play a little bit with their dark side, which is what I even said watching the music video, is that they kind of had multiple different, feelings going on. So let's take a look at the choreography and talk about it. So now that we're going to just watch the dance practice, I'll be able to kind of really observe the choreography from a dancer and a choreographer's perspective. So let's check it out. Opening pose is already so sick. Right there, it's already so dramatic, right? So everyone's pretty much looking away. You have one guy in the back that's kind of looking straight to the audience. His hand is over his face. It's kind of showing himself, but also being a little bit vulnerable at the same time, a little bit hidden as well. So I love it. Good peel off right there. Hey. So right there, let's back that up a little bit. I love that moment because in this moment, they're actually going, it's the in-between things that they're doing really great. They're really into, sorry if you hear barking, it's my dog. He's wanting to be a part of it, Murphy. But right now, taking a moment and pausing this, they're all at the same level. All four guys in the back, they're slightly at the same level. The guys in the front are down at the same level, and then you have the guy in the middle. Everything about this is super in sync. You have the different textures right there from low, medium to high. You have the two in the front, the one in the middle, and the four in the back. But in this moment, they're about to have in-between things. So they're going to hit with their wrist, but then they have these moments where they shift into the next position. So they never really stop moving. And that's what's kind of creating that nice little texture right here. I love that. It's a really good blend right there of a little bit of popping and then fluidity and isolation. Spacing is perfect. Okay. Oh, good popping right there. So there's a couple moments in here where you can see someone really dancing and feeling it with their face, and some of them are just kind of just dancing and going through the movements. And I wonder what's going on in your head, because as a dancer, there's always times when you you're super in it and you're just feeling what is being felt, so you kind of express it on your face as well. That always happens when you're on stage, but sometimes in rehearsals that's not the case, because you're watching yourself in the mirror, you're critiquing yourself, you're kind of more focused on your lines and your timing than actually just kind of allowing the body to do what it knows it needs to do now. So all these hours of rehearsals that you're doing, your body is getting used to it, right? So it's muscle memory. And then eventually when you hit the stage, that muscle memory takes over and you stop thinking about everything. You stop observing everything, and the mirror's no longer there. And then you just start being, you start doing. And that's when the feeling and the emotion can kind of take over. So I love kind of watching when it happens, because I can see as a choreographer when you go in and out of those moments of being in it and then being watching yourself and being reserved a little bit. Good timing. That was a really good transition. They have really great formation. I love the fact that they switch their formations a lot, which is really good. Their formations, the transitions are smooth, but they also keep switching formations, which keeps the dance moving. It keeps them moving. It keeps the visual looking different. There you go. Dope hit. Oh man. Okay, so right there in that moment, when you're wanting to kind of like have a moment where it looks like you're exploding out of something and then it goes into slow motion, the best way to be able to deliver that dynamic is, I think I've even mentioned it before, you want to explode off the bat and then kind of like milk it a little bit. You want to have that duality of something like hitting and then like keep going, because if you just hit, it's like a pop, you're stopping right there. But they'll hit and then kind of like melt out of it, which is giving you kind of like that slow motion feel. So you're like boom, and like you just keep going and it's like slow motion. Where if I just started slow motion right away, you kind of miss that, right? So like if I'm like, oh, okay, you didn't see it, but if I'm like boom and then I keep going, like it's gonna capture your eye, and then it's gonna give you that slow motion effect a little bit. I love that like moment right there where they're gonna dance together and okay, timing's a little bit off right there. That's okay, that's what we have rehearsal for. That could have been a little bit tighter for me. Oh, that moment right there was super sick. Let me go back. On the floor when they got in there and it's like jump, 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 and they rocked back and forth. I really liked that. Let me go back. Super subtle, right? But it's eye-catching. So again, they kind of lost me right there with the snake. It wasn't as perfect as what right here. Front, back, front, yep. I love like the get up from it. It's a little bit of a break dancing move. Look at the lines, perfect. They're even breathing together. That was nice. I love that. Spacing a little bit right there. So guy on the right, he's just a little bit off. See how right here you can see that their shoulders are like their elbows are almost touching. There's a little bit of a bigger gap right there. This is what I'm talking about as like, this is how intense it really does get in rehearsals. Like in that moment, I guarantee you, they probably were like, hey, slide in a little bit, stage right or stage left, depending on, who it is that's in the formation. So you have different angles of the stage. So they'll be like, hey, slide more upstage, slide downstage. That's letting the dancer know where in the stage they need to go. So right now that formation's a little bit off for me, which is fine. I'm looking at it again from a choreographer's perspective. I don't think any person in the concert or in the music video is going to be like, oh my God, that's the end of all time. But this is me diving in deeper. He's a little bit off. The spacing's a little bit off. So again, too, not a problem. This is also something that as a choreographer, I want to talk about. I think all of them are really, really strong dancers. I know everyone's been telling me about Jimin and how he is technically trained, and I can see that. But sometimes as choreographers, we also have to really focus on knowing our artists, knowing the people that we're working with, knowing the dancers we're working with, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and how we incorporate that in the dance. Like only their strengths, like we're not going to incorporate their weaknesses, but if they're really great at certain aspects and they're not strong at other ones, I'm going to pull my strongest dancers up in the front, and I'm going to hide and blend the other ones into the back by maybe even having them in the middle where they're surrounded by the stronger ones. That way the blending seems easier. And actually when you do that, you're pulling out an even stronger dancer now because they're surrounded by all of that energy and all that strength right there. So as a choreographer, you also need to know like where to place people, when the right places are for those particular people to come forward, to come back, to blend in and do things like that. So they do a really good job with that here. And again, they're all super, super strong, but he's a little bit off spacing wise. But he's owning it. Let me just say one more thing. He's off a little bit spacing wise, but now's not the time to move. You do not move. Like, you commit to it. Once you're there, you're there. You're not going to be like, oh, because if he was to move all of a sudden, it's going to pull focus. And now people are like, oh, he was off a little bit. So once you're there, you're stuck there. You own it, and he's doing that. And then when he moves in, you take that moment to take a little bit of a bigger step. Look at how he's perfectly in sync now. Spacing's perfect. Want to know why? He corrected it on his next move. When he went to take that step in, he probably took a little bit of a bigger step than what he normally would have taken. So super smart, super professional. Love it. I love it. I love the ending pose. I love all of it. I love the intricacy. Boom, boom, boom. Their lines are incredible. I think they're just beautiful. They're beautiful dancers. I loved watching it because it pulls out their emotion behind it. And I can see when they're kind of going in and out of that emotion in rehearsal, from when they're focusing on what they're doing compared to when they're just allowing it to come out. So thank you guys so much for being here with me and checking out that choreography. It's beautiful. They are technically trained. They have a lot of strength in their legs to be able to do some of the, fan kicks that they're doing and the rond de jambes that they're doing in the air, and their technique and just everything. So very beautiful. I love this one. And thank you so much for having me share it with you guys. This is my end of it. At this point, I'm going to be checking out a lot more videos and diving into their choreography as well. And I've said it once, and I promise I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be learning a couple of pieces of choreography. Some of their choreography has moved me so much that I want to learn it, and I want to like teach it and like get on it, because it's super sick. So anyways, thanks for staying tuned with me again today. My name is Lindsey Mackail. Until next time, peace.